I'm just going back to my business. At this point, I don't even care what the villagers want to do with Mama Body, where they lay her rather to rest. I do not care. I'm just going to concentrate on my business right now because my business has suffered a lot as a result of this, back and forth with the villagers on what to do and how to lay Mama to rest. But for now, I am just going to forget about all these things and go back to my business. And I'm sure the spirit being were just laughing and said, okay, let's see if by the time we are done with you will have a business to run back to. Hello besties, you're welcome to today's episode. So guys, in the last episode where AGK and Dan went to see the prophet, we all heard what the prophet said, and we also heard what AGK said. Even though he accepts the fact that the prophet is a true man of God and what he has said about him is the truth, he still felt that he doesn't want to do the right thing, because to him, if he should succumb to what the villagers are asking him to do, it will mean that he has been defeated by the villagers, and this is something that he do not want. As such, he paid deaf ears to the instructions and advice of the prophet, and all he could say at that point is that he was going back to his business. He doesn't care what happens afterwards. He's just going to concentrate on his business because he feels that his business needs him now. You will agree with me that AGK had so many opportunities to do things right. Aside that fact, there were different pointers directing AGK to do things right, starting from his encounter with Mama when Mama came to his dream, and then the fact that his warehouse got burned just like that. And another encounter is when they went to the village, to take Mama's body to the city to lay her to rest there. They also noticed that the cars could not move and all that. Now, AGK, as stubborn as he is, or should I say, he just have this super ego that is making him feel like if you do the right thing, it will mean that he has been defeated by these people, has refused to do the right thing. And whatever we saw in this episode, AGK deserve it and even more, because I feel like his parents, despite the fact that AGK did not treat them well, their spirit beings still have this soft spot for their child. Because I mean, how do you explain that a child refused to do the right thing by his parents and they are still giving him opportunity to have a rethink? AGK had opportunity when Mama came to his dream to warn him. AGK had an opportunity when his warehouse got burnt. He has an opportunity, or he had an opportunity when he actually went to the village, to take Mama's body to the city. And of course, the advice that the prophet gave to him to do right by his parents, he did not use others. He did not do all this. That is what pride, ego can do to anybody. So guys, AGK have started receiving the aftermath of everything that he has planted for himself. And since he feels that he doesn't listen to anybody, any reasonable person, the only person he prefers to listen to is somebody who I don't even know his true intention in his life. I mean, how will your friend always advise you to do things that, ordinarily, common sense should tell you that this thing is not going to favor you, and you keep doing it? And then, why didn't he even think of the fact that when the village youth were actually dealing with him the other time, that, Dan was nowhere to be found? Even when Andy told him what Dan did, he did not accept it. I just feel like this Dan has a very strong hold on AGK's life, and probably he could be a business associate who wants AGK out of the game. And if they are doing business, do you think that Dan will be happy to see that AGK is succeeding in everything that he's doing? Aside the fact that Dan feel a kind of thing for his own parents, I mean, with everything and every explanation that has been given to Dan, and he still insists that AGK should not do the right thing, always wishing him to do the wrong thing. I strongly believe at this point that Dan has a motive in AGK's life. But why is it that he doesn't listen to anybody? He doesn't listen to his wife. He doesn't listen to his good friend Andy, who he always calls when things go south. Like at this point, why didn't he pick the phone and call Dan? Why did he call Andy? Ejike has no business to run back to anymore. There is no business anywhere for him to run back to. Now, the company that he has already signed contracts with has pulled out. Most of the companies that he is going for contract have pulled out, and this did not still pass a message to him. I mean, anybody that is smart will understand that what was, or rather, Ejike should understand the fact, if he's actually smart, that what is happening to him is not ordinary. People cannot pull out of business deal. People that you already signed contract with cannot just wake up one morning and cancel the contract that you have signed with them just for nothing. And then even when Andy was trying to pass the right message to him to say, okay, see what happened, if you think or you say you don't understand what is happening to you, then you'll need to have your head checked at this point, because what is happening to you is related to you not doing right by your parents. And Ejike was still saying, he always say, ask this question, and it gets me pissed off each time he asks this question, that do you think, are you now saying that what is happening to me is related to my parents? And at this point, Muna, who is so reasonable, had to say yes. She did not think in that aspect before, but with everything that has happened to Ejike, she can't but just agree that yes, whatever that is happening to Ejike or Courage at this point is related to him not doing the things that he's supposed to do. And of course, we don't know. They might finish talking sense into him, and he will still end up going to Dan to consult him, because Dan is his cheerleader, that person who makes him understand that he's Courage, the courageous billion, who should not in any way allow anybody to make him feel less. Guys, at this point, we Ejike take this advice that his good friend Andy has given to him, or he is just going to play deaf ears to it, and of course, wait for Dan, who is his cheerleader, to come and give him or tell him otherwise? We hear listen at this point, because at this stage, if Ejike does not do anything right now, remember, his workers are planning to leave him even if he's not owing them any salary. They know that everything is going down. Imagine contract that you have signed already, people pulling out of contract, people that you're going, to their offices for contracts, and you people have reached a certain kind of agreement, trying to say they are no longer interested in doing business with you. Your building that you rated, you're so sure that the materials you use wearing inferior materials, all of a sudden the buildings are collapsing and taking people's life, and you're not saying anything about it. Will he listen at this point? Is this actually enough warning to him, or he's just going to say it's a coincidence, like he said in the case of his warehouse that got burned the other time? I just pray he receives enough sense right now to do the right thing, or he will just continue with what he's doing and everything will keep backfiring on him. Guys, what do you have to say about this episode? As always, become a part of this family, and I'll see you all in my next one. Bye, guys.